Hey guys, it's Pina, and in today's video, I want to go over what happened to my Serpent Venom character. I was attempting Aberoth just to go and see if, like, how was my damage against it. I felt really good tankiness wise. I knew I could tank the pizzas. I knew I could tank pretty much anything. Had good sustain. But here is what happened. So, yeah, let's just watch this for a moment. I'm here. I'm full health. I move away. Boom. You have died. So I took 7,000 damage because Bastion of Honor did not block the hit that I was supposed to block. I guess it is a mistake on my part, but you know, Bastion of Honor has a 4-meter range, so I had 100% block chance, but I overestimated the range at which you have to be from Aberoth to be able to block his hits. So he does seem to have a pretty big hitbox. I think what I think happens is that the range is for Bastion is calculated from the center of his hitbox instead of like the edge of his hitbox. So as you can see, I'm very, very close, or I was on the very, very limit of like the 4 meters range, because here he is pretty damn close to me. I am here, he is here, and I don't block the hit. So since block mitigates so much damage, that is what killed me on this character. I was not ready. I was not ready for this fight. So I just wanted to see, you know, just kind of like limit test and have a feel for if I am ready to do the fight soon or not. So let's go on my other character, on my actual character where I've attempted to fight and see what my gear looked like. So for the most part, I think on Swarmblade, if you want to do it on Serpent Venom, try to go in to do Aberoth on. Keep in mind, this is for hardcore, right? But even in softcore, I think because melee really suffers against enemies, especially against Aberoth, Swarmblade has a very small hitbox with its melee attack. So the fight is pretty hard. The fight is pretty hard. This is the gear that I had. I had very decent gear. I actually went in like this, right, with Seed of Yggdrasil. So I had a really good seed, although the endurance doesn't do much for me here. I had a seed, I had a Serpent's Milk with health. You could have gotten more damage here instead. Health is good. I only had tier 6 vitality on my Pale Ox, so that is not very good. Only a tier 5 block effect on my Bastion, also not very good. Basically on this one, I had tier 4 poison damage and tier 7 poison on hit. What you really want on your Weaver's Gift is going to be melee crit chance, right? So that would be the best to obtain, because like as you can see, my melee critical strike chance is very low, especially when I don't have my my Spriggan with me. When I do have my Spriggan with me, my melee crit goes up to 98%. If you equip Peak of the Mountain in softcore, it can go up quite a bit more. So I'm at 152 here. But like melee critical strike chance, because it's such a big multiplier in here, it's very important to get it up as much as possible. So not a very good Weaver's Gift. I had red rings with strength instead of critical strike chance. So what you really want is 100% crit chance on your rings. So that's going to make a big portion of your damage. These are red rings that are recycled from another character just to get started with the build. I had fairly decent idols with 10% chance to summon a Thorn Totem on hit. That is the most important role, right? The chance to summon a Thorn Totem. That's going to apply as many stacks as possible on the targets. My Brewmaster Buckle is actually pretty good. Even though it's 3 LP, only 2 stats kind of really mattered. The tier 1 poison damage here was not very good. I tried to slam a tier 7 increased health and tier 5 hybrid alongside the cleanse, but I only got this. My boots were excellent. So those are some really nice boots. 4 second of haste after you use a traversal skill. And because your I just untransformed from this, but because your dive is a traversal skill, it gives you access to haste without having the need to go for Maelstrom, for example, right? So when you use dive, it's a traversal skill. So now you always have haste when you are in Swarmblade form without the need for Maelstrom. So that is what I was using. My Real Simoon were really good. Tier 7 hybrid, tier 5 attack speed. Yeah, pretty much perfect gloves. And then Twisted Heart with tier 7 crit chance, pretty much good as well, right? So nothing crazy, good enough, but I would have waited to go in to get at least my red rings with 100% crit chance. That would have been a huge bonus to my damage, and possibly a better Weaver's Gift as well. And maybe like also like not use a tier 6 vitality roll on my Pale Ox, but ideally the red rings with increased crit are gonna make a big portion of your damage. If you're in softcore, you could cheese this in other ways, right? We're going for rings with like even more crit and just have like giga damage. But that is what I decided to go for. So my character was level 94. I was, you know, able to hold my own, but I got greedy, and you know, I guess I have to be more careful, and you should be too, about Bastion of Honor when you are attempting Uber Aberoth and thinking about tanking the pizzas. Make sure that you are really close to him to be able to like block efficiently. But I'll go show you what my damage was against this dummy here. So for example, this was the kind of damage that I was dealing with. So not crazy damage for this build. This is still, you know, we still have very decent damage. As you can see, the training dummy is going down fairly easily. But on this particular build, on the melee Swarm Blade, I would recommend going with even more damage than this, for sure, if you want to do Uber Aberoth comfortably. If you have more damage than this, you will kill the Harbingers extremely quickly, and you will phase Uber Aberoth into his other phases much more quickly as well. So the dummy is already dead. Overall, I love this build. I think it's an absolute, it's one of the best builds of the patch. But one caveat is that to attempt Uber Aberoth, make sure that you are geared enough. I guess that's the thing for pretty much any build as well. But I guess if you remove bow traps Umbral Blades from the equation, yeah, like that one can do it on blue gear. But yeah, if not, this one kind of like your damage is gear reliant on getting a lot of crit. Softcore, you could cheese this in other ways, which just get like, you know, like if you go ZHP on this build against Uber Aberoth, I'm pretty sure you can absolutely melt him. But that's gonna be for another time. As I play in hardcore, my next character is going to be the resurrection of my Lightning Blast Rune Master, which I lost to a DC. Another build that I love and that I just released a guide for. So if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It's on Maxroll, and I've already released the build guide video as well. I'm gonna be building it in hardcore and going to kill Uber Aberoth with it, as I keep telling people that it's a very good build to kill Uber Aberoth with. And I plan on doing it in hardcore to kind of like prove a point to people who think that Mage doesn't have like a really good Uber Aberoth killer. Although, I will say, you have to have some sort of knowledge about the fight to be able to do it on that class. But because it's a really good point-and-click playstyle, I think it's a very good. One, to learn the fight, and two, to actually do the fight, because you can control the fight very well. So that pretty much sums up my story about my Serpent Venom build. Again, if you haven't seen this one, there's also a guide on Maxroll and a video talking about the build entirely. But that's going to be the end of this character. I died, and I'm going to go level up another Lightning Blast Rune Master. See you guys all in the next video.